Are Americans allowed to give UK people their free speech? Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and I just got off a private call with a British YouTuber I know, and I have to say, I'm starting to feel a bit guilty and as if I've lost sight of the bigger picture. Here I was, wanting to talk about something or other that my friend probably couldn't even follow, which was about something that happened a while ago, which he told me he didn't really want to hear about all that much, which wasn't even directly connected to him. Still, he was nice enough to hear me out, listen to why I wanted to talk, tell me what I should do about the situation from his perspective, which I ended up agreeing with, and then we started talking about other things to make videos about a bit before he took off. Being that he lives in the UK, land of don't make your dog seek hell or you'll probably spend time in prison, and land of the don't make jokes about trucks of peace on Twitter unless you want to get arrested, he had numerous things to say about free speech issues in the UK that he felt could be talked about a lot more on YouTube. There's things like the Telford grooming gangs, for example, that went on for about 40 years before anybody ever did anything about it, and of course, people are afraid to say anything about the perpetrators too much on account of the fact that they don't want to be labeled as Islamophobic. However, as much as I wish I could rattle off some other UK issues that are happening this very moment, the truth of the matter is that I simply don't really know that much about it. And that's really a shame to me. I watch Sargon of Akkad's videos a fair amount, and I've noticed this thing he's done at least once or twice where he'll apologize to his audience about the fact that he is about to talk about UK politics, assuring them that in just a moment he'll get to the fun part of This Week in Stupid, where he talks about US stuff and news stories about silly social justice feminists and whatever people tune in for. Now, I'll admit that I am one of the people who gets a bit bored hearing about UK politics, but can we think for a moment about what this means that he has to do that exactly? Sargon is actively ignoring the politics in his own country and apologizing to his audience for bringing up issues that he thinks are so important that he has to do it anyway. Really think about this more because I know some of you don't really care. Sargon is a Brit over there somewhere outside of London or wherever he lives, and he's making all of this entertaining and informative political commentary that is largely intended to be for a bunch of Americans to enjoy. And not just that, but he's not even entirely sure how long he can do it for. He gets to be in the UK, working harder than almost anybody you've probably ever met to help ensure that United States news stories that might otherwise be underreported on end up being reported on, and he can't even talk about certain things without getting channel strikes or having his videos put in limited state. Meanwhile, not only are people in the United States somewhat ungrateful, but it's a bit worse than that. All of a sudden, there's YouTubers out there that are saying that content criticizing SJWs is over and it's no longer cool. Like they are the trendsetters that are the arbiters of all that which is hip, and nobody is interested in stuff around free speech anymore. Or something. I don't really know what they say. It is kind of strange. However, is it really the case that people are no longer interested in this type of content around free speech and authoritarianism? Or is it more so that the algorithms on YouTube are making it hard for people to find our videos, people are being unsubscribed from our channels, or not seeing notifications for our videos when we upload? There's few bedroom feminist type videos to make responses to for response video channels, and we're still in the off season for Antifa violence. Maybe people are wanting to talk about this stuff, but they don't know that people are having this conversation. Maybe it's not so much that people aren't interested in the ongoing conversation, but rather people are going back to thinking that nobody is really having it on account of the fact that it's becoming more and more difficult to find it on the internet. I mean, people are still occasionally finding and binge watching my channel and letting me know, but they seemingly never randomly stumble upon it, like they used to. Regardless, if we stop talking about social justice authoritarianism, who is going to suffer most? Well, seemingly all of us will eventually, but obviously people are already suffering in the United Kingdom, which is really a shame considering the way so many of them have lent their support, raising awareness for the politics in the United States that people care about here. People in the United Kingdom are saying, hey, it's somewhat serious. We're barely even allowed to make videos anymore, and people keep getting arrested for things they are doing on social media. And in the United States, people are saying, we won! Battle's over! This is super untrue from my vantage point, but I propose a bit of a solution if anybody might be willing. Perhaps some bigger American content creators might want to start guesting videos for UK content creators, so that the UK creators can talk about things that they are afraid to talk about on their channel. Did anybody have this idea? Maybe if they are afraid of making a video with their face and voice in it, they could ghostwrite for an American content creator or help them write a script and then put the video up on their channel as soon as possible. The American can. I don't know, just a thought. I'm not really sure what people would do about monetization, but personally, I think I'd really like to hear about some of the things that UK YouTubers have been afraid to say about the UK on their channels, because I feel like they've talked about American politics enough. So, we don't necessarily have to talk about UK politics all the time, but don't we kinda owe them at least a little bit? That's all I have to say for this video. Stay tuned.